to N21FM, a Pokemon podcast. I'm your host, Glenn, joined as always by, back again with my co-host, Johnny. We had a week off, and I missed you.
Yeah.
I did. The episode was much shorter than it
Mhm.
normally is. But how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Had a fun. Well, first I was away last weekend because of my cousin's wedding. Fantastic ceremony, super fun. We got to bring Maggie along, and it was her first wedding visit and meeting cousins, aunts, uncles, family members. That was all really really nice. She handled it like a champ too, like loud ass music, and she's just like chilling.
Wow.
Vibing, so that was super awesome. And it was also kind of nice because it was like the day afterwards, most people were just kind of heading home, so we got like an extra day to just chill and hang out and have some family time, me, her, and Cassie. So that was kind of cool. And then this weekend was Maggie's first Halloween.
Aww.
We did a little Halloween party with some family members, and Cassie and I and Maggie, we all did Nightmare Before Christmas characters. So I was
I saw that costume. It was excellent.
It was, dude. Shout out to my wife. Shout out to like the absolutely best art like redesign I've seen of like the mayor's face. Like I could not have done it. I don't think I've seen anyone like draw that so perfectly. It was 10 out of 10. It felt like it was like right off the claymation set. So yeah,
it was really
fantastic.
awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was so fun. So I was the mayor. My wife was Zero, and Maggie. We got her this really cute crochet Oogie Boogie costume.
Yeah, that was such a cute costume, dude. Oh my gosh, I love that.
It was so awesome. Yeah, it was a fun night. We got to eat, got to drink a little bit, just relax, hang out, chat with people, watch some spooky movies. It was a blast. A good Halloween, and then the rest of this weekend's just been pretty fun. Kind of a busy day today with pre-releases and seeing some other friends, but yeah, kind of a wild ride.
Hey, well, I'm glad to hear it, my friend. Oh, I'm good. Yeah. I've had a weird weekend, but a good one nonetheless. So, I mean, yesterday we were supposed to have the challenge at Buzz City, but there's some new stuff going on with Play Tools that they never explained to us as a store. So we just didn't know how we couldn't get the tournament to run. Luckily, we didn't have a lot of people there to fire it anyway. We had to like beg one kid's dad to play with them to even get it to fire. So it was probably a lost cause from the get-go. Yeah. So I think we're rescheduling it for this upcoming Saturday. And then we'll have that pre-release the following Sunday. So it'll be a busy weekend next weekend. I'm excited about it. Next weekend's going to be a wild time in general, man. It's going to be crazy because next week we have a cool interview, which we'll talk about in a second when we're talking about Patreon. And then I do my tour of that studio that I'm going to start working with on Sunday. So
that's so sick.
Really excited to get into that. Get started working with them and really test my chops and learn some new stuff. I'll get a chance to play with Adobe Auditions, which will be really cool. Never messed with that software. And I'll be using Premiere Pro for the first time. I actually, all the editing I do is either run directly through the Riverside client or through Premiere Rush, which is a very different software than Premiere Pro. Yeah. So it'll be cool to get to deal with like the industry grade toys, and that'll be a great time. And they've got like Shure microphones as well, so I'll be in the big leagues. It'll be a lot of fun. So
that's super cool.
I'm really looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be cool. And then of course, between that going on, the pre-release, the challenge, the interview, I'm gonna be tired next week. I just know it. So. But it was a cool Halloween. We went and I don't know if I said this on last week's episode, but I went to my nephew's birthday party. He just turned 6, I believe. His birthday is on Halloween, and cool. So we got to celebrate with him a little early last week. And then we had a good Halloween too. We went and hung out with one of my best friends and his wife, and we actually we had pizza and we watched Harry Potter. And this is a weird one. My first time ever watching Harry Potter. I'd never seen any of those films before.
Really?
I had only gotten like a little bit into the first book as well. So
that's fair.
It was fun. I mean, to be fair to me, I was in the generation of kids where it's like my mom was like, "No, that's witchcraft. Don't do that." I'm like, all right, mom, whatever.
No, those to be fair, those kinds of parents have always been around, but
Yeah. Well, it's
yeah,
funny is
yeah.
because in more recent years, she's been like, "Oh, you should watch the Harry Potter movies. I watched them with your niece, and they're really good." It's like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah, just
Oh
kind of like,
man.
oh man, I wish you were like this like when I was a kid.
Yeah. What the heck? But yeah,
Yeah.
that's been my week. Very excited to get back into the groove of the things here with you in the studio and talk about this week's news, some topics for discussion, what we're playing, and things like that. Really stoked to get into it. But first, I want to let everybody know that interview I was talking about earlier is with Little Dark Fury, the Rogue Deck King. We are recording that on this Saturday. So Saturday, November the 8th. We're going to be recording that in the evening. So if you want your questions to him read on the show, the way you can do that is you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/terminalcreative, and you will be able to, at the $5 tier, do the audience participation, which is getting your questions read on the show, whether they're for us, for me and Johnny, or for our guests when we have them. I've had the question thread up since October, but I did publish the November question thread, so you can ask your questions there. I think it's the pinned thread on the Patreon, so go check that out. The Patreon's a great source of a lot of content right now. I think we put up some really good stuff. There wasn't one last week. I ran into some copyright issues with the bonus I tried to put up last week, so it got a little weird. But normally we have a bonus episode of the show up every week. We do N21 Plus, which is our show where we cut loose a little bit. It's normally where we talk about any of the planning we do for our Booze and Battle tournaments or just anything otherwise, things that are like 21 and up type topics. You can find that content over on Patreon at as low as $1 a month. That's where you get that bonus content. It's where you get early access to this show. And it's also, it's a really affordable way to help out the show. The bonus we're doing tonight is actually, Johnny, with your friend Jake. Is that correct? Excellent.
Yep, my buddy Jake.
He had his first pre-release this weekend. Is that right?
Yeah, he's a newer player to the Pokemon TCG in general. He kind of just has been wanting to get his hands on packs, and I think wanting to kind of get a little bit further into the TCG as well. So he decided to hit up a local pre-release for his area.
Nice, man. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk to him after this. That will go live on Patreon on the day that this episode comes out on free feeds. So if you're listening on free feeds, you can go get that interview right now at Patreon. It probably just now published. And that's a way to do it, is at that $1 a month tier. $5 a month, of course, does get you access to that audience participation. And $10 a month, as we'll discuss later, we got our first producer who will get their name read at the end of the show, as well as all the other benefits included in our Patreon. But with that out of the way, I also want to bring up before we get too deep into it. Sorry, this is a lot of like rigmarole, but it helps engagement. So if you're listening on Spotify, leave us a rating or a comment, and if you're on YouTube, like, follow, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. It helps out a lot, especially if you're not doing any of that Patreon stuff. It's a really good way to support the show and what we do here for free. So check all of those things out, and let's get into the show, Johnny. Let's I know I have it in the doc that we were going to start with what we're playing, but that's just what I did last week when I was rocking things solo. So I'd like to just jump straight into the topics for discussion and the news this week with you, starting with something that has been a really hot topic in the community lately, something we're calling Sleevegate. It is. Oh my goodness gracious, Johnny! I've been yapping for a couple minutes straight now. Tell me a little bit about what's going on with Sleevegate, because there's a video I understand associated with this, and I have not watched the full video, so I want somebody who's educated on the topic to fill us in.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, love calling it Sleevegate. I don't know if like other people are, if that's just us, but love calling it Sleevegate. But yeah, so the kind of nitty gritty of this really is just there was a video put out recently by Andrew Mahone on his Tricky Gym YouTube channel, and he discussed the kind of influx of Pokemon, well, not even Pokemon, but card game sleeves companies that have been coming in specifically heavily into the Pokemon community, but just in general have been kind of entering the world of trading card game sleeves. There's already there's just a large number of these. I mean, we already start out with just kind of the big three, I guess, and he mentions them in the in the video. You have Dragon Shield, Ultra Pro, and Ultimate Guard. Those are kind of like the three that everyone just kind of knows about. But there's been this kind of rise in some of the other ones. I remember when I first started kind of playing competitively, well, not competitively, but like playing and trying to like up my game a little bit and looking into some stuff. I started listening to like started checking out some stuff from the Lake of Rage podcast, just to like get the week to week interviews and stuff like that. And because Kevin Clementi had a really cool series of videos on kind of upping your game a little bit, just like some basics, but like good things to do in practice. And it was really easy to just like throw on and listen to and kind of get and understand. But I remember in those videos, Evan was always plugging the the dual spec sleeves, right? And that was one of those brands that's kind of come into this. But there's other ones too. There's FCPC, Element, Top Cut Gear, quite a few of these that really have just like taken off out of nowhere. And so in this video, Andrew Mahone decides to deep dive it and go looking for these sleeves and the source on it. And I think it's really interesting. His results kind of led him to a Alibaba page, which Alibaba is a kind of like a Chinese equivalent to Amazon of sorts in a way. It's kind of the early versions almost of stuff like oh man, I'm like blanking
Wish
on the
and
names.
Temu.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the versions of like Wish and Temu that existed before Wish and Temu, but it's all kind of the same thing. Like it's just large scale bulk ordering, kind of any sort of product, anything that you want, you can kind of find it there. But it's a lot of bulk ordering because it's shipping from China to the US if you're ordering it from China, and they do have a sizable market of selling from China to the US, so you can get like these big bulk orders. The big thing that he noted, and he found a listing titled, and it's going to be a long one, but it's 1,000 pieces, brand new, rough textured, consistently cutting, premium tournament grade, MTG standard size 66 by 91 matte trading card sleeves. And he went and he looked at these, and if you look at this listing and that's on this website in the video, and we can probably link the video below, that way we get like at least a source for folks. But if you go looking at this listing, right, it's got this rough texture matte shield, and there's like a nice little like Knight Shield logo on it, right? And Mahone makes a solid point to note in this video that shield looks exactly the same as the shield that's on the FCBC sleeve boxes. And so he goes and he orders these, right? And he compares FCBC with what was it, with Dual Spec and with
Top Cut Gear.
I think it was Top Cut Gear. Yep. And he compares at each one of them. And the sleeves, I mean, in the video certainly, and it's I don't want to say it's just video
it's good
quality,
audio
because it's like it is you're looking at the screen, and like colors obviously aren't going to translate 100%, but like at the same time, like I trust what he's saying to this level. But these sleeves look exactly the same in this video. And he's pointing out the size is the same, except for I think it was Dual Spec had like a 0.5 millimeter or something like that shaved off the top, basically, compared to the other ones. And the size are the same. If you get the colors, they're the same. He said he could not legitimately tell the difference if it wasn't for what he had sleeved and marked on the cards that he'd put in the sleeves.
Crazy.
And I think that is a big tell to these. And so he contacts these companies and he asks them, and each of them kind of gives like their own varied responses. Some of the companies didn't particularly like him doing this this kind of like market research almost. I guess
I
you would
wonder
call it
why.
that, right? And it's like, well, you know, you're selling a marked up product, bulk product that's not different. And like, I'll get to my opinions on it in just a minute there, but like, you know, other companies said that, you know, they were very upfront about it and said, you know, yes, we do order from this person specifically, this Alibaba listing specifically. We have a partnered deal with this person who has this listing, and so we work directly with them rather than working with them through the listing. And I think that's probably important to at least note, right? But now that this kind of stuff is out in the open, I think that the bigger issue is going to be that, you know, these companies don't have much room to kind of like come out and say, oh, well, you know, our stuff is different, it's better, when I can go and spend $250 on, you know, getting 10 cases of 1,000 sleeves. Like,
right.
At a certain now it's like, okay, well, I can save myself like a lot of money on this now. You know, what you know, what benefit is there to doing anything different?
Yeah.
So I think though the biggest issue and really what it is these companies a lot, they tend to put out this stuff about, you know, our product is the best product on the market. Our product is good because it does this, this, and this, and this, you know?
Yeah.
That's your selling points. That's marketing 101. If your product is the same as a competitor's product and your selling points are different than your competitor's product, are those the right selling points? Are you just not fumbling at that point? Your product, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I've been rambling enough, I think now. But I just wanted to like that's kind of like the rundown of all of it. But how are you feeling about this? I guess based on like all of that.
It seems pretty clear, right? I watched a little bit of the video with you before we started the show, and it's peculiar for myriad reasons, right? So obviously we live in capitalism, we live in a society where like the best where, and I promise this won't be just me like ranting about it, because I'm this is an unpopular opinion right now, but I think there's like, I think if we had better nurtured capitalism, I think it'd be fine as a system to keep. I think there's cool things you can do with capitalism, and like for instance, like this podcast and the Patreon are an example of why it's cool sometimes. So I'm not going to claim it's certainly not a perfect system, but we do live under it, and it has some problems. One of them being that the goal is for every company or any person really who wants to make ends meet is that you need to have your finances focused on growth. You always have to be growing, profiting more, making more money, because everything's going to get more expensive and everything is going to become even harder to pay for. So you need to always be making more and more money.
Yeah.
And a result of that is that often you do get, well, it's a word I don't want to say on this show since we're trying to keep it a little cleaner, but there is an engrossification or lamification of products where you get people marking things up higher than they really ought to be, and that's just kind of the place where we're at, is people are trying to maximize profits, where they're like, well, how little can I pay for sleeves and how much can I maximize my profits so that I can make a little extra cash on the side? And that's an admirable thing to do, is to try and take care of yourself. And even if it's just branding that is more superior, like I think that a good designer should be paid for their work. I think that so, and that sounds unrelated, but bear with me. I think branding also is worth paying for. Like one thing that you pointed out that I think is particularly egregious is that you said it was FCBC that was using nearly the same packaging on the with like the shield on the front. Yeah, I think that's egregious, right? Because if you're going to buy from a supplier, the main thing you want to do is at least create your own spin on it, because otherwise you are producing something that is effectively the same thing as your own, as the product you supply from. And somebody else pointed out to me online that it was somebody who's like definitely speaking tongue in cheek, right? where their comment about it was, oh, American Pokemon players discover a supplier. And it's like, that's not exactly what this is. This is the opposite direction of that. Like, supplying is one thing, but when a lot of different brands are creating the same product practically and not doing much different, like something that is demonstrably the same product as other people's stuff, minus like very small niche tweaks, then you're in territory where you are not providing anything that is worth the uptick in value. Like, for instance, like I think this is something that after fees and everything, $30, you're making ridiculous profits. That's not something you're making like little to no profit off of if you're selling them at even a really cheap price. If you're selling these sleeves at like $15 a box or like $13 a box, you're making a lot of money off of them. So if you're going to make profits, you should be putting effort into at least the design of the packaging or the design of the product itself. And if you're not doing that, you aren't making a product. You are buying someone else's thing and selling. You're a scalper. Even when there's like a gross supply of it, you're buying things and selling them at a profit, just because you can. And that's something that, we've talked about multiple times is totally unacceptable to scalp.
Right. Absolutely.
Granted, scalping is a little different than like buying wholesale, but when the profit you're flipping them for is that egregious, I think it's a similar area. Like, that's kind of the analog of it.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of came in here also because I wanted to look at some of this stuff a little bit. And I actually just now was kind of going to each of these websites to take a quick look at what the sleeves are like on the websites, what they offer for them, right? Both FCBC and Top Cut offer sets of sleeves with it's just all various colors, right? And it's your standard, we've got
FCBC has an itchy pollen color. What the?
Yeah, they've got their lime green, their equivalent to the Dragon Shield apples is itchy pollen.
That feels like really edging the line for a C&D.
Yeah, that's getting very close.
Gosh.
That's getting very, very close, right?
You are treading treacherous waters.
Right.
Wow.
And so I'm looking at these because it's like I was like, I'm interested in the colors, right? And like these colorways are like how many so Top Cut offers, what is this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top Cut offers like 10. It's either 10 or it's 10 colorways. FCBC is offering, it looks like a little more. It looks like they've got 15. About 15 colorways. Okay, yeah, so 15 colorways. But that's the only difference between these. Now, dual spec, I will go say, for what it's worth, right? Dual spec does offer a few different things. They offer their standard sleeves. They have what they call their Pro Blackout sleeves, which from the description on those that I've read, it seems like they're the equivalent of like Dragon Shield dual mats, right? Okay. So they've got a black inner and colored outer. And that's that cool. Lets them, that's cool. That's,
I'm sure that's a different supplier.
It probably is a different supplier, and those are priced a little bit higher than their dual spec XD sleeves.
Okay.
To be fair, Andrew does say in the video, he does mention that the sleeves he looked at were specifically dual spec XD sleeves. And then dual spec also on their website has these dual spec Halo hollow art sleeves, and they look like they have like kind of some sort of patterning on them and kind of like a holographic background. It seems interesting.
They're cool. I've seen them.
Yeah. And then the other bit that I will say, at least that is nice about dual spec, is they also, aside from offering the standard sleeves sizes, they also offer the Japanese size sleeves if you are into playing like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? You need Japanese sleeves for Yu-Gi-Oh because Yu-Gi-Oh cards are a little bit smaller than both Magic and Pokemon cards.
Yep.
And you don't want to put those in like a standard size sleeve. Those things will slide around inside that like crazy. So you definitely want like a smaller tighter fitting sleeve for those. Yeah, I think that they handle it at least a little better with their website. They still have the same thing. It's still a series of colorways. I think Dual Spec offers, this looks like, what is that? That's like 15 as well, I think, something like that. So, you know, they still have like the same kind of count, but at least there's more, right? They might have multiple suppliers, but yeah, it does feel, it's already feeling egregious with like the branding with like Top Cut and everything, even to the point where Top Cut, they do point out on their website, you actually get 150 sleeves in a box of Top Cut.
That's pretty cool.
For it's cool. Not going to buy from them, unfortunately.
No, same.
For personal reasons. The owner doesn't align with our views, but you know.
Oh yeah, the Top Cut gaming guy. No, don't buy it from that guy then. Never mind. I'm fine saying that because that guy is openly transphobic.
Yeah. And he just flat out doesn't align with the views. I think he's been banned from Pokemon events before.
I think he's currently banned from Pokemon events. Period.
Yeah.
According to that video.
He can't table or set up at them. I think he's like trying to wait and see if he can like get back into them eventually, but I truly hope that Pokemon doesn't allow him back in.
Yeah.
But regardless, like, I mean, like, I think that 150 for like the $12 price point almost is like kind of that telling mark of like just how cheap he can get these like done with his partnership with the supplier, and then just flip them like that. So for that, it's very obvious at that point that it really is kind of just a money game, which is fine. Like I get it, right?
Yeah, make your money. By all means.
You're making a living. I get that part, but it does just feel egregious, I guess, to the point where it's like, okay, but you're not offering much different. So, and if I can go and I can spend, you know, a lot of money and then, you know, go in on an order with like a group of friends, and now we all have, you know, a ton of sleeves, you know, available, then I don't have to, why do I have to buy your product, you know?
Mm-hmm.
At $250 with this guy, I'm going to get less sleeves than I would if I just went and bought $250 worth of sleeves off the Alibaba listing.
Yeah.
So,
which I think there's value in. I think honestly, like you and your friends, I think truly the best option, you and your friends should all be like using this Alibaba thing. Like if you guys all just go in on like $250 worth of sleeves, that's what, 75 a person almost?
Yeah.
No, that's less than 75 a person, because that would make 300. Then you guys have a 1,000 sets of sleeves?
Yeah.
Or is it 100 sets of sleeves?
I think it'd be 100 sets of sleeves, but like that's
still
a ton.
Yeah, 25 sets of sleeves a person for less than $5 a thing. Yeah, you're paying about $5 for 100 sleeves, which is,
if we're wrong, correct us in the comments, please.
Yeah, let us know. That was napkin math for sure.
But I think the one other thing, I don't want to like continue harping on like a ton of this also, obviously, but like the one other thing I will say is, you mentioned, you know, people were saying like, oh, you know, Pokemon players discover suppliers, right?
Yeah.
And it really is different, because it's like there is no difference in the product compared to the original supplier product, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not the same as if like you go to the grocery store and you buy the generic brand of ketchup off the shelf instead of, you know, the Heinz brand ketchup, right?
Yeah.
Because Heinz has a specific recipe that they use, and the generic brands are almost always they're made in the same, from the way I understand it, generic brands are always made in like the same factories or similar factories, but they use a licensed, publicly available recipe for those, and it's different than the private personal recipes of a brand like Heinz, where Heinz has their own, you know, volumes of whatever spices and seasonings and vinegar and whatnot that are going into this ketchup, you know, tomato counts. It might be 48 tomatoes instead of 30 or something like that per bottle, you know, like we don't know, but that's the point, right? Is like, it is different, but that's like they have a marketable different product. If like that's why I say at least with the dual spec, they're kind of putting a difference there, kind of with the other colorways, you know. But even then, the standard products are like no different really, other than supposedly like the what is it, the half millimeter chopped off the top.
chopped off, like and
which
so,
could also be, I will say, that was in the one box that Andrew got. He does not say. Yeah, he doesn't say that he got any other boxes. Could easily be a factory issue, which is
a half millimeter
happen with.
Like, come on.
Very.
One thing I wanted to say about that I think is a little, what this poses a problem when you are the 3 leading ones in the market. And this is going to be so niche, right? But it's something that Pokemon players and Pokemon organizers should know about. So if you know this about me, I am a well-studied card cheat. I have studied techniques for cheating at cards and doing things like that and manipulating cards for magic tricks. I do magic tricks for like my family, and I had a couple gigs where I did it on the side to make money. That is to say, I will never use these, like, you know, hand to the Bible. I have never and will never use these techniques to cheat a game. But here's something you should be concerned about. And I don't feel bad for leaking this. So if there's any magicians who want to be mad about it, they can be mad about it. There is something, and I think it's a pretty commonly known technique used in like gambling demonstrations and like cheating at cards in general, is to have a short card. I actually have one in this deck right here. I love this deck, by the way. This is the first V3 by Chris Ramsey. They're like little palm leaves on there. Oh,
I love that. That's so fun.
I have a short card in this deck right here. And what that allows me to do, it's hard to see, and it's on camera, but what I can do is I can guaranteed cut to the 4 of spades. Because I've got the corners trimmed a little tiny bit. So just completely raw. Oh, that's not it. Hold on. There you go.
There we go.
It's the next one. Like by feel alone, you can cut it, you can shuffle it, and I'm guaranteed to find that break every time.
Yeah.
So what that means is that if there is a demonstrable difference of a half a millimeter, as little as that is, half a millimeter is a lot when if you know what you're doing.
If you practice at it, yes.
Yeah, you would need to practice. So like, theoretically, a player who's cheating could get a pack of the dual specs and a pack of whatever the other one is that's like shorter, and sleeve key cards at easy cut points. Or you could do the same thing if you like shaved off the side, a little bit off the side of one card. Which is something that to look for in deck checking as a judge.
Yeah.
So if you have that short card, your opponent is more likely to cut to that card. So you can just put, I'm going to put my Fez in the short sleeve. I'm going to put my A-Spec in the short sleeve. I'm going to and that is where you get into territory where you as a player, as a judge, should be concerned. Because now you have to think, is my opponent going to employ this deception to make their odds better?
Right.
I personally don't know that there are any Pokemon players that are that adept and that committed to cheating that they would do that or have even thought of that. So sorry if I would just put that out there. But I think the more people learn about it, I think it's more important that more people know about more cheating techniques. That's actually there's a book that is regarded as the Bible of modern card magic, and it's called The Expert at the Card Table by S.W. Erdnase. And it was marketed originally as a way to catch card cheats.
Yeah.
But now, of course, it is like used by magicians and like people like that to do the cheating.
Card cheats. Yeah, absolutely.
Again, its original purpose was to teach magic, but it was under the guise of being able to catch people doing these techniques.
Yeah.
But it's like all that to say, it's important to know what techniques can be employed by your opponent so that you can be a better judge and you can be a more vigilant player. Because if I see my opponent like, I don't know, if I see my opponent handling their deck in a weird way, or if I notice something on my opponent's deck, because you can see those sleeves from the side, you can see if there's one shorter.
Yeah, if they
Those
start
are
kind of
things-
feeling up the side of the deck, if they kind
Yeah.
of start,
You
just
should,
doing some weird stuff,
Yeah, that's the stuff you need to look out for your opponents. And
this, it's one of the reasons. I've actually done this kind of habitually, and it's not because I have played against anyone who I think is like I suspect of cheating, but it's more just because of like it's become kind of a natural thing to do. I think in an effort to just take that extra step of precaution. And I want to say this because like I don't think that I've really played. Certainly locally, I don't think I've played against anyone who's like cheating. We have good local players who I think care about the integrity of the game and aren't cheating. And I've played, playing regionally and playing in other locals. I don't think I've played against other cheaters. I think everyone who I've played against cares about the integrity. But it is important to at least understand like techniques you can do to protect yourself as a player. And I think one of the biggest ones that I've taken is when you cut your opponent's deck, right? Cut in a different spot every time. It throws off a lot of those kinds of things dramatically. Yeah. Don't make a predictable cut, because once you start making predictable cuts, if you cut halfway and you do eventually run into a player who is cheating and they see that you're cutting halfway after the first couple of cuts, they're gonna be like, oh, I can kind of
they're going to manipulate their
shuffle it. Yeah, I can shuffle it and get the card that I want into the middle so that when they cut, it's more likely to be on top,
because even a bad cheater can manipulate their shuffle so that they're retaining the top stock or the bottom stock of the deck. So like, God forbid you have a player that's shuffling their deck and they peek the bottom card, and then they like cut it to they shuffle it to the top with an overhand shuffle,
yeah,
or like shuffle it in a way you can manipulate your shuffle to get what you want out of it. Like, it's a very easy thing to do.
Absolutely.
Even just knowing a little bit of information. So if you're playing against a cheat, they can do that. And so if you're cutting in the same spot every time, they're gonna use that to their advantage if they're set on cheating. Also, if you like, now it's probably just a good precaution to use a different grip every time you cut. So sometimes grip the bottom long end of the sleeve, sometimes grip the top, sometimes grip it like long ways, just to be certain, because now there's an entire floodgate opened of potential cheaters, which is dangerous. It's bad for the integrity of the game.
Yeah, it's I think that there's a lot going on with this in general.
It's a layered topic for sure.
I think we'll probably see some more about this. I know that some of these brands, like we said, some of these brands aren't happy about, this kind of knowledge kind of making its way to the public, but that information was already public knowledge, really and truly, or at the very least, right? Like, even if a brand isn't going to disclose who their manufacturer is, if you can find out who the manufacturer is of the brand yourself, it's not like the manufacturer is going to hide who they provide product for, right? Manufacturers they're not, unless they have like some kind of licensed agreement with that, they don't owe brands anything. So I think that it's definitely, we're definitely going to see some more come out of this. I also kind of wanted to take a quick second to note even how easy it is to get some of these kinds of sleeves just cheaply through Amazon. We purchased like a bulk amount through Amazon, right? And these
I was
going to
bring that up actually.
Go for it.
I literally just bought. Sorry, I want to let you finish, but I was going to bring that up because literally since we've been recording, there's one brand that I found. That if you want them, by the way, I'll put them in the doc. They're having a sale right now for their 10 color set, where you get 1,000 sleeves across 10 colors for $9.99.
Yeah, I mean that's
which is a killer
deal.
I literally just spent $20 and got 2,000 sleeves.
I will say these brands, like the ones, because I bought a bunch of these for when we were doing our
the testing for Atlanta
and stuff like that, and just trying out a bunch of new decks and stuff. I will say these sleeves were not the best that I had. The matte finish on them is a little bit like, I've got some, I guess, like I've got like dragon shields available right here in front of me, right? And so like you look at like it's kind of hard to tell on this, but it's like when you look at like the back of like a dragon shield, it's got this kind of like the texturing and the matte finish on it is rough enough, right? And these
Yeah.
were a little finer to the point where, like, I don't know.
They were a little smoother. They were a little, because I used some of those as well, and they were a little smoother. They still felt good. I think they felt really good, actually.
They felt fine. They felt decent. I think it might have been a personal preference and just, I don't know, some kind of like material feeling for me personally that kind of threw me off.
Oh, they're certainly not dragon shields. They don't feel the same.
Oh, no. To me, it felt like if you took the material, I see, like, I've got the familiarity of this with like working and stuff, with like stuff that I've done, right? It felt like the material, like a slightly rougher version of the material that we've used when I used to do field survey, more actively, like out in the field rather than working in an office environment. When we used to do set like stakes, you know, to mark things in the ground, right? We'd set like a really long stake to kind of with like and tie off like what we call tape, but it's like that vinyl like colored
like electrical tape.
And not electrical.
No, the vinyl.
Tape.
I know what you're talking about. It's the stretcher one, the vinyl.
Yeah, it's more like ribbon almost.
Yeah.
It feels, these sleeves felt very similar to that, to a point that I was like, when I shuffled it, I was like, ooh, this feeling, it just kind of doesn't, I don't know.
Doesn't vibe for you. That's fine.
Yeah, was not feeling it personally, but
I would have taken like a couple of packs of those to a regional, and I think I'd have been fine.
Yeah, I absolutely could have. Yeah, the sleeves certainly were good enough quality that you could run those through a regional just fine without any issues. You know, you could go through 2 days at a regional with those, and you wouldn't have a problem. The biggest issue I had with it really was like some of the lighter colors, like the yellows, the pink, the white. I think maybe the orange.
You can see through them a little too well.
Yeah, a little translucent. Not translucent, but a little.
No translucence, right?
Yeah, a little more translucent. Yeah, you would maybe have an issue with a deck check, especially in like a tournament hall, right, where you've got those big, those lights
huge
overhead,
lights,
and that's just like white on everything, and you're just like you would maybe have an issue seeing through, and then someone might complain because maybe the back of the cards are marked and they're like looking really hard at them, and it's like
if you're trained well enough, you can definitely like mark your cards through like white sleeves.
Yeah. So I could get it. I could understand that. So if I was going to go to an event with those, I would have just taken like black sleeves or something like that.
Yeah. The purple ones were really good.
The purple ones were cool. Yeah. I think that's kind of everything I have on this. I don't want to like, we've run this topic thoroughly into the ground, I feel.
Certainly. Well, and everyone here should go watch Andrew Mahone's video. It's a really well-made video.
Please do.
Support him. He's a really good community member in the space.
It's a short watch. It won't take much of your time. And it's a good video to watch, I think, for this topic. It explains everything in his opinions and views well. And yeah, I would thoroughly recommend it.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a big one. Sorry we kind of rambled on that for a while, but it's a big deal with a lot of different layers to the issue. So I think it's important that we cover it really thoroughly. So I think we've done that well. Now we kind of want to move on. We kind of wanted to. Wow, I can't speak. Daylight savings has me kind of messed up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's so fair.
Which normally the fall back doesn't mess me up because I'm like, oh, cool. I just get to sleep in an extra hour or like get another extra hour of work in, and I'll be okay. But this year it messed me up, dude. I think it's because I like just slept bad last night and then woke up and I was like, oh man, what's going on? But we wanted to talk a little bit about some financial stuff with Pokemon. This is not the usual like price spikes. There's actually no article for that this week, so no crazy spikes in prices for cards. But I did recently acquire a card off of one of those lists during. But I'll get into that in the what we're playing section as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So we were wanting to talk about Pokemon TCG Pocket, which has been a really interesting hot button topic, at least in our circles, as well as a couple others. I know we covered recently when they mentioned, or there was data indicating that they had lost 50% of their player base over the first year of its life, which I found pretty peculiar because this data here would suggest that they're doing really, really well. This comes to us from PokeBeach. There's an article here titled, quote, Pokemon TCG Pocket earned a record of $1.25 billion in its first year, sparked current Pokemon TCG shortages. This is by the Water Pokemon Master with a main journalist, would you say? Writer for PokeBeach. They post a lot of They post a lot of data. They post all kinds of articles to PokeBeach. And this one notes a couple of really interesting statistics based on Pokemon TCG Pocket, where 18 billion booster packs were opened, 111.7 billion cards collected, of course, 150 million downloads, which I find interesting. Because if you do, what is that, 1,250,000,000, and then you divide that by what, the 150 million.
Oh yeah.
That's on average $83.33 spent per download, which is crazy. That's the price. That is slightly above price for a modern, like, current gen console game. That's like a brand new game for your Xbox or your PlayStation 5, and like a skin pack in there.
Jeez,
which is crazy.
That is bananas. But I think that that lends itself directly into, and so first of all, not everyone is spending money on this game.
I didn't spend a dime on it.
Not spending any, which means that while that is a averaged out per person number, the real numbers are that people are probably spending a lot more on this. The people who are spending money. With that said, I think that just kind of goes to show what we've said before. This game is just an absolutely huge gacha, and it's like these kinds of games will rope people in and just drain them, right?
Yeah.
And
oh my goodness.
I feel like it's maybe it's silly for me to say that as like a Pokemon player, because it's like, I'm going to go ahead and spend $30 at a pre-release to attend a pre-release event, but I'm also getting the gameplay out of that pre-release event and the tangible card to keep. So then it gets into the discussion that we've had before about a real card versus just pixels.
Yeah.
But I think
own an actual product. What a concept.
I think that it is interesting though to kind of like go through this, right? This article mentions the app earned $1.25 billion in this first year, which is 245 million more than Pokemon Go. So Pokemon Go got 1.05 billion in the first year. No, less than that. Sorry. Basically 1 billion in the first year. Pokemon Go got 1 billion in the first year, right? Like that's kind of wild when you think about this. This thing for its first year earned more than Pokemon Go, and then on top of that, Pokemon Go averages about 30 million a year currently. And we talked about, it lost like half of its player base, but if it nets, right, like the numbers here for September 25, there's no like concrete number on this, but September 25 is looking like here, I'm going to share my screen actually for this so that the
go for it.
Picture is front and center. If we're looking at like this bit right here, September 25, right?
Yeah.
That's looking a little bit above halfway. It's looking more like 3/4 of the way, right? So I'd say that's more than 30 million right there. If they get that more than 30 million from Pocket alone, averaged on like per month, right?
Yeah.
if that's the number that they're getting, like if this is the number they're getting from Go per year, and this is a number of like one of the lowest record months of the game's life cycle, they're not going to stop supporting this game until this number is like I don't know, like the per month has to be like near zero for them to basically stop supporting this game.
Yeah.
So I just kind of want to point that out, because it's like we do thoroughly criticize this game. We thoroughly criticize Pocket, but it's not going to stop it.
Yeah, it would seem that Pokemon TCG Pocket is here to stay based on these numbers. I mean, 30 million versus, what was that number? The average for Pocket, or like the low end of Pocket, is still over 80 million. I mean, or 80 billion.
The low
sorry.
end is yeah. So the low end of Pocket, per year is going to be over
or 80
12.
Yeah.
12 times that we'll say 40. We'll say this looks like 40, right?
Yeah.
12 times 40 is 4.8 billion. Yeah. If I'm correct. Don't quote me on my math. I'm terrible.
That is a lot of money over what Pokemon Go makes. Now, granted, Pokemon Go has other things going on and like tournaments and stuff, so there's also like collaborations and pop-ups that they coordinate with it. But I mean, the revenue speaks for itself, the dollars are important. And so when you see that this game is generating a ton of revenue, right? Just
sorry, this is 400. This would be if this is I don't know why I said it. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
That's okay.
This would be just under $500 million each year.
Yeah.
I ran that through back in my head. I was like, wait, I was off by a 10 space or something. Yeah, that'd be $500 million per year.
$500 million versus 30 mil. That's like almost 100% overwards. So, but all that to say, that's like a huge differential. Pokemon Pocket's not going anywhere, sadly. They're going to keep supporting it. It's going to be a license to print money.
The next big thing that this article talked about, or I guess they talked about it a little earlier before this graph, but it was this here. And this is a graph from TCG Player.
Yeah.
You can clearly see it's the market shift.
Run
me through your opinion on this.
So their presupposition is that the soft launch and global launch of Pokemon TCG Pocket is responsible for the crazy influx of players buying cards and scalping cards and like really like the investing vibe that is in the current game and collections chase. And I think there's something to be said for that. I don't think it's totally out of pocket. I think it is.
In fact, it would be in pocket, clearly.
Yeah, it would be in pocket. I think it is. I think speculating on this is a very responsible use of the time that people have done. Like, this research is valuable because, granted, you could see that this is correlation, not causation. But I would argue, right? TCG Pocket, we saw it in the Pokemon space, and we're like, oh, they're going to advertise stuff to Pokemon players a lot. Because we just expect that this is only being seen by Pokemon players. This was advertised to regular people as well. This was advertised to anybody probably in the gaming space, exactly. Where there's people who have nothing to do with Pokemon, whether it's TCG, VGC, Go, Unite. There's people who never touched any of those games that are like, oh, I used to collect Pokemon cards. I can do it for free on my phone too. I'll start doing that. And then that got them into the space of like, oh, I should pick up Pockets as well. Or like, not Pocket, I should pick up regular TCG cards too. Yeah. And so of course we see that influx of people into the space just because like your cousin probably saw this, even though he hasn't touched Pokemon since he was 4. Your mom like downloaded Pocket because she just likes the way they look. Like, I don't know, maybe.
No, I mean that's 100% correct. I also think like if you look at this, right, like let's look at like sealed product around this time. There's a very key drop right here, right, just before October.
Yeah,
that was from the Stellar Crown release. Oh, this is the Stellar Crown, mid-crown released, and everyone who was a player at the time knows that mid-crown is it's a bad set, but there's a very clear like sealed dip right here. But right after that, there is this immediate uptick in it, and it's going up and up and up. And right around here, the global launch, you also get maybe a little bit afterwards, you get the kind of November set release, and that's Surging Sparks, and that's another set that like
huge collection value because of Pikachu.
Big collection value with Pikachu, and I think that's kind of where this bend comes from. So I don't want to say it's like just Pocket, because there's very clear like set issues, right?
Yeah.
For this to ramp up as drastically as it does between Stellar Crown and Surging Sparks, this specific bend right here means that there was definitely something going on with the Pocket launch.
Yeah,
and I would absolutely agree. Pocket launching right here does have something to do with that.
No, I totally agree. I think it would be negligent to rule out the possibility that TCG Pocket has caused this influx in some sense. Maybe not entirely, but I think like partially it certainly has. It's had some influence, to be certain. Which leads me to call for some transparency from TPCI. We need to know where this money's going. Are you just paying your artists? Are you just funding the coding of these cards? Or are you doing the right thing? Are you subsidizing TCG Live development? Are you subsidizing the increase in printing that you're going to have to do to account for the market demand? These are questions we need to demand transparency from TCPI, because otherwise what we're doing is we're saying we're going to keep paying these insane prices for TCG Pocket, and we don't expect you to do anything for the other games which actually have a developed community, which are the centerpieces of your premier events. Those, we don't care if you invest back into them. We just want more Pocket slop. Like, I think, not that, and this isn't to disparage Pokemon TCG Pocket as like a fun little cute miniature version of the game to play with each other, or even as a collection app. I think it's fun for both of those. But I think it is like, it is dangerous to prefer a non-product. It is dangerous to speak with your wallet in favor of a non-product which isn't subsidizing physical products. And I'm not like an economics like genius or anything, but I think that is something that you should consider when you're playing TCG Pocket or downloading it or like buying packs on it or whatever you buy in that game. I don't know. And maybe that's like tinfoil hat or like being, I don't know. I'm sure there will be somebody who's like, no, that's a ridiculous take. You shouldn't expect TCG Pocket funds to go anywhere but TCG Pocket. I think I disagree with those people, because this is something that you have to keep in mind when you're voting with your wallet, like you do every time you spend money. Yeah.
No, I absolutely agree. I was looking some stuff up here real quick because I was interested to see some stuff, and it's like we've discussed before how Pocket reuses old card art as well.
Yeah.
From previous ones. I was going to one that I believe I remember distinctly in there, and that's the Hitmonchan from Team Up, I believe. Let me share that one. Oops. That's okay. This Hitmonchan right here from Team Up. And it's a Tomokazu Kamiya art, which Tomokazu Kamiya is fantastic art, by the way. Like they have some awesome art. As seen with our our interview with Powers, he loves collecting the Kamiya arts, and so it's a very distinct style. And Kamiya is still making art for Pokemon, right?
Yes.
If they're pulling this card in, is Kamiya getting commission for this old art?
I tried to look that up. I didn't get a defining answer, because most of it just has to do with like the what was it, the plagiarism allegations. That's most of the results I get when I look this up. And the AI overview from Google is generally unreliable, so I won't speculate based on that result. But it is a concerning question to know, like, hey, is Komiya getting royalties or extra money for this iteration of this Hitmonchan art?
The pessimist in me wants to say no. The pessimist in me wants to say no because this is art that Komiya was commissioned to do for Pokemon.
And so they paid for it and paid for the license.
Yeah, and once Pokemon has that license and has that artwork, they can say, well, we're going to do what we want with this now. It is ours. You can't have a say. Which
is not a way that you want to nurture your relationship with artists. Let me just say that quite plainly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is there's a lot that comes out of this. I'm surprised we've actually even spent as long as we have talking about this, but it's a surprisingly deep bit of content. It's important when it comes to finances to like be informed and talk about stuff.
Yeah, I could go further honestly on it. I know like someone I don't want to like harp on it too much, but I did notice like some people in the comments on this PokeBeach article were also like discussing some of the influences on it. And one person points out, and I've seen this kind of comment mentioned other places aside from PokeBeach before, that the sneaker resale market collapse in 2023 and in 2024 apparently is a big driving factor. And I don't know if that's like a theory, like a tinfoil hat type theory from those kinds of people, but I don't know enough about sneaker resales, but I do know there was a collapse of like sneaker resales in those markets, and to the kind of influx of that of those scalpers from that market into the current market of Pokemon cards could actually be a driving force. Sounds like I got a train coming.
Yeah.
To spare our viewers, I will be muting that. But thoughts?
Yeah, so I think we've kind of spoken pretty thoroughly on it. I don't know much about the sneakerhead like flipping market, but I know, you know, scalpers are always looking for the next big thing. That's why you see when recently like new card games have been coming up, those are also getting sold out because Pokemon's getting sold out, and this is a similar product. So we're gonna try to do the same thing and make a little bit of money off of it. And I wouldn't put it past scalpers, certainly, especially if you're in the sneaker market. I think that's a totally real possibility, but I don't want to speculate because I'm not familiar with either of those, really.
That's fair. I think that's fair. I will say it would at the very least it would make sense, right? Especially because of the fact that the sneaker market, once someone owns a pair of collectible sneakers, right? Like that's it. You don't need to like own more. But Pokemon is kind of the driving force behind it is always going to be that buying a sealed product and opening those up and, oh, did you get the big hit? Did you not? Get some more and try to get the big hit again. Because at the core of it, there is that level of kind of gambling associated with it.
You don't need two pairs of specialty sneakers unless you're going to wear one and keep the other sealed.
Yeah, which that's it's definitely not something that you see people doing with other collectibles, right? This is Pokemon's a unique collectible in that aspect, and so I think that is the other driving force behind scalping behind it. So with that said, that's kind of it. That's really all there is to say about this. Pocket is here to stay, and it absolutely is a driving force behind sealed product increases.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it's very safe to say with certainty that is the reality we live in. I hope that people will be more responsible when they vote with their dollars. And understand that this impacts other games in the space as a whole. But I also can't blame you if you want your digital cards. Like, they're cool. The immersive rares rock. Like, that is one thing that they're sick. But I don't know if it offsets the impact to other Pokemon, other aspects of the Pokemon franchise. So with that said, let's move on. Like I said, kind of transferring out of the finance stuff, because of course none of this is financial advice. But there's, like I said earlier, there's no price spike article this week. There's one for Japan, but we don't cover Japanese stuff. I will say, as just a note, if you really want to collect cool arts but want to spend less money generally, Japanese cards are a great way to do that. They're generally more affordable, and now there's like a separate way to filter for Japanese Pokemon on TCG Player if you want to shop with them. I don't recommend shopping with them, but that is a way you can do it. So it's way cheaper to buy Japanese cards. So something to note. But as we move away from that, let's move into I guess let's talk about the regional. I didn't get to see a whole. I want to start with I wanted to say I didn't get to see very much VGC, but I did sit down and stream some of it towards the end of phase 1, and I saw a really interesting game where it was like a team. I think it was round 6 or 5, where just the team comp was wild. I couldn't tell you the exact cheat, but I saw Kilowattrel used for the first time ever. They were using their opponent was using Dragapult, which was also really unconventional. It was 2 really unconventional team comps put against each other. Because when I see a team comp nowadays, I expect like Incineroar, Hisuian Sneasler, Rillaboom, and then like Blood Moon or Saluna.
Yeah.
And I forget who the 6th would be. But like these guys had very few of those. So it was a really interesting game. It was the one that was on stream for either round 5 or round 6. Very cool to watch. Even though I didn't really know what was going on, but I don't have the results. They're not posted on Victory Road, the results of Gdańsk or Brisbane regionals. So we don't really have that data available for you. I wish we did. Sorry about that, but I hope you understand. But we do have data on TCG, which was wild. So if we're looking at Gdańsk, Daniel Magda won the regional with Goldango Rocks, that being the new Mega Evolution engine featured in Solrock and Lunatone, where you discard an energy and draw 3 cards once a turn. Really crazy ability. We should do a bonus one day about the effect of those 2 guys on the meta.
Yeah, honestly, it's really cool seeing those cards kind of come in and just shake up everything. Some decks that already were really good get new ways to play. Some decks that were okay at one point and kind of fell off have suddenly resurged and can do decently well, now with like the Sarah Ledge lists and stuff like that. And because of how good these cards are, really, like the Lunatone and Solrock, like they're new, they're here to stay for sure. They are going to find their way into any list that can afford to put in a couple of each and some fighting energy to help them going. So fighting lists are always going to be good now for the next 2 years. Or not, I should say, maybe fighting lists aren't going to be good, but fighting lists are going to have a chance to be decent or better, right? Like the Lucario list is not very good in my opinion.
I think once Gardevoir rotates, it'll be really solid.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's kind of where it is. But I will say, like, at the very least, right, that Lucario list would have been bad if it came out and the rocks didn't exist, right? Because the rocks are like half of like what Lucario needs to get going. So yeah, super cool to see that happen.
Certainly.
The biggest shame and sadness of the event, of course, is Emma Hagen losing out with the same kind of prize luck that Piper Lapine has had in like the more recent events, and this is just so sad.
Somebody was on, like, I think it was Twitter or Blue Sky at the time, but they were like, the script writers at TPCI just don't want a woman winning. I was like, I was like, that's a good joke. It's a great joke, even, but you need to stop. That is out of pocket for sure. But I mean,
oh my goodness.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
Check the deck sorters. Check the hard drive.
Check the hard drive.
I love when I'll like tune into like someone's like stream or something like that, and they're like, "Yo, check his hard drive." When he's like, it's like Azul's chat will pop off with that one with like Azul just like top decks into the exact thing he needs, and he's like,
"Yeah, right."
Someone check his hard drive.
Seriously. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Absolutely robbed by that pricing. It was like what, 2 double Crispin, Crystal, and something else too. It was truly ridiculous. It was so sad.
Emma was on the was on a slightly less typical EV box list. This one, in my opinion, and in resident EV box enjoyer and master Zach's opinion as well. This was a greedy list. This was a greedy EV box list, but I will say, like, it is definitely like the kind where if you get the ball rolling with this one, oh man, this is probably a little bit stronger than the average EV box because it's so greedy. But it's also like some of the choices are
as well.
Yeah, some of the choices are definitely like kind of, ooh, I don't know about that one for me personally. Like Emma was only on 2 EV, like a baby EV and an EV EX, so no third Colorful Friends EV, no Pidgeotto to go in between the Pidgey and Pidgeot, just relying on the rare candy, no Super Rod, only Trumpet, that kind of thing,
really wild.
And the two Crispin, honestly, to me, the 2 Crispin, I think that's
2 Crispin is insane.
I'm not saying EV needs like 4 Crispin like Terrabox, and right now Terrabox, a lot of lists are even going down to 3, but I think 2 Crispin is asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's wild. But yeah, it's cool to see. It was an interesting top cut. I do want to bring that up. Is that top cut? And we have more information on this one, so we can kind of speak to it more than we can for Brisbane. The top cut was really, really intriguing. I want to say there was like there was no Gardevoir, there was Zoroark, there was how many of the I'm trying to find it in the group Discord.
It was a 16-person top cut, first of all,
for starters,
which is pretty big. Like we haven't had too many top cuts that are like that big. Also, it was really cool seeing Mike Ellis, who's normally on the caster side of everything at these events, make top cut again.
Yeah.
Mike has been kind of on an absolute tear lately, so that was really, really cool to suddenly see Mike just like all of a sudden like pop off and get I think it's like back-to-back top cuts, because I think they got Lil as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so super cool there. Sorry, didn't mean to cut off in anything else that you were going to say, but
no, you're fine.
That was like one thing that I noticed that was like really, really cool. The Kato Arai made it to top cut on this event as well.
Nice.
Another powerful player. I mean, everyone who made it to this, I should say, is like, really strong showings in general from them. And trying to see, there's just not a lot of like deck information, unfortunately, so I can't speak to like choices there.
Right. I mean, we see top 8 decks, and the top 8 decks are interesting. You've got Lunatone, Solrak, Goldango. You've got 2 EV box. Oh, you've got 2 Goldango as well. You've got 2 EV box, and then you've got a Zoroark, a Grimmsnarl, a Charizard, and a Mega Absol box.
Yep.
I'm so amazed that this deck is real, by the way, but that's beside the point.
Well, and the I mean, even the Zoroark is now making use of like the Eviltal and the Mega Absol as well.
Yeah, might as well.
Those are popular inclusions now for that list, which makes sense, right? You get another good attacker and another good stall option and another good switching option.
Bro, you don't even have to play you don't even have to play N's Castle anymore. You just patch up the Eviltal. It's crazy.
Yeah, and N's Castle is like so unnecessary. So now you get to play like, Rocket's Watchtower and just have
more Rocket's Watchtowers and Artisans.
Which is like Rocket's Watchtower is like the answer that you need for that deck to get through like EV box lists and stuff like that. So,
which, by the way, I predicted Zoroark not being on N's Castle when that card came out. So that's another tally on the Glenn is always right board. I hate to inform you that you were wrong and I was right once again. Not you specifically, the royal you.
We're gonna skip through the few months where Zorik was definitely on In's Castle and loving that
Don't
card.
Worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hey, it's okay.
Oh man.
I'm just early. Also, that's all.
Super early.
As is pretty par for the course, honestly, with my predictions.
That's fair. Really
anything
cool to see
else
Charizard
on
once again.
Sorry, go ahead.
Charizard's the big one. Again, Charizard is once again doing the numbers.
Yeah.
Charizard's still a good deck. I honestly think Charizard right now is like probably like the most like top of B tier, bottom of A tier type deck that you can play. I think it's a sleeper pick for almost any tournament in general, mainly because like people are so focused on a lot of other decks that do these, you know, people. There's been a big trend, right, in the competitive space towards comeback mechanic decks and damage spread decks, and so Grimmsnarl has popped off again because it's damage spread and it counters Guardy very well, and Dragapult obviously does insane things with being able to take 5 and 6 prize card turns, you know. And then you have like these lock decks with the Kangaskhan Absol, you know, where you're playing more of a control route through the game, you know, or you play the Goldango and you're doing like infinite damage, you know. And I think because of stuff like that, Charizard's kind of like fallen off in popularity, but not necessarily playability. And I think right now is definitely the perfect time to play Charizard because it just does what it does really well. The lists are, I think this list in particular was kind of interesting too, running the secret box instead of the max belt like we've seen more recently. And 2 copies of Messagoza. I think that's kind of cool. I kind of like the Messagoza.
Haven't seen
Messagoza
a good
stadium bounce, right? Yeah, it's kind of just a good stadium bounce, and like if you roll heads, like you
go get your Dusknoir or your Charizard.
Let me go get my Charizard, Dusknoir, Pidgeot, my Fez, my whatever. That's like one less card that you have to like play a supporter or an item or use a quick search to go and get, you know? Like that's one more supporter that you can use differently that turn or later in the game. That's one more quick search that you get to just kind of go handle something else with, you know? That's maybe you have 2 Duskull on the bench with this Charizard list because it's like 2/1/1 on its lineup. So now you can go and get the Dusknoir and the Clops potentially, you know, and then you can candy and Noir, and you can candy Noir and use the Clops and spread damage around, and you know, do dust things and just
Well, I think another value of it is that with the rise of 3 prize Pokemon, Charizard is going to be better because it can just do the prize race more efficiently. All it needs is to KO 2 megas, and if you're doing it's 180, it's 210 plus 50 from, that's 250 or 260. That's taken out most like basic megas. If you're a dark type, if you're against a psychic type mega, you're smoking a psychic mega for really easy, and that's without your opponent really taking any prizes outside of Dusknoir. So I mean, you're doing to do well to just go 3/3 before your opponent can go 2/2/2. So yeah, also, Charizard is a really great choice, I'd say right now.
I was going to say it too with that efficient use of the Briar as well, right? You can always take a mega out and then like go down, you know, let yourself get down on some prizes until your opponent's, you know, at 2 left, and then you'll just drop Briar and, you know, counter
catcher
Fez and just punch Fez for game. Go 3/3.
Or alternatively,
is such a good route right now. Actually,
alternatively, you get really greedy and you go 2 and then Briar a mega for 4.
Okay, that's so doable, and
that's how I would do it.
Well, and it's so cool how that's like so doable with this deck too. You can just like use Clopses to like give up prizes and place damage counters and like have such an easy time with like the Briar shenanigans. That's why like Briar has always been such a good card with this deck.
Briar with anything Dusknoir that you're using a Terra is so crazy, because what you're able to do is like use Briar and then pop a Dusk and then get so much more. Oh, dude, it's nuts. It's so crazy. The fact that you can do both of those in the same turn is just bananas. It makes me sick a little bit, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
I might have to start playing Charizard because of this. But yeah, if you're satisfied with Gdańsk, we can move on to what little we know about Brisbane before we kind of close things out this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have anything else really.
Oh, okay, cool. Actually, we're gonna go a little long because we still have the what we're playing section to cover, as well as this last topic. So, I mean, Brisbane, all we really know about it is that Ryuki Okada won with Mega Absol Box. Pretty cool to see. I mean, Mega Absol Box, I never really thought it would be a deck, but it's coming up. I mean, it's here to stay. Thanks, Tord. I hope your mom enjoyed the regional.
You know, they I didn't watch it, but they did have an interview with him and his mom at one point during day 2, so that's kind of cool. Awesome. I'll probably go back and watch that just for the fun of it, right?
Yeah.
Like that's fun. That's cool.
Sure. Oh man, so good. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, congrats to Ryuki. Mega Absol Box is here to stay. I think Dark Box is going to be a very real thing once we get Toxtricity from Phantasmal Flames. But I think we'll save the Phantasmal Flames talk, I think, for maybe for the interview with Jake. That was kind of we'll talk about it then. I don't want to do too much. Anything else you want to say about Ryuki's list or just the Mega Absol Box in general before we kind of move on to what we're playing and then close out the show?
No, I think I've pretty much said all my thoughts on that on one of our previous bonus episodes where we kind of did the rundown on the list anyway. Like that's the list is so cool, but it's yeah.
And there's a we'll move on to what we're playing in a second because I don't have anything else to say about it either. But it's worth mentioning, I guess, that there's a new 7-star Terra raid coming. It's not like one of the ones that was like really unique or in recent history, but I guess you should know if you're still gathering up Pokemon. There is now a Poison Terra Hydreigon raid that is a 7-star raid that will go from November 7th to November 9th, and then again from November 14th through November 16th. So, if you want to grab that guy, go for it. He's got the mightiest mark. It's a Hydreigon if you want that, but it looks like they're leaning away from some of the Scarlet Violet like hype stuff, and they're moving on to more of the ZA stuff, which I think I want to get a copy of ZA soon so that we can talk about it a little more. I mean, I think I want to do a video on the channel. I might have you on for it. This is me like speaking very candidly. The stuff that we probably should be doing off camera. I might see about having you on for an episode about ZA after we've both played it, just so that we can do not an episode of this show, but like a video for the channel. I think that'd be fun.
I'll do my best to get my hands on it at some point.
Same.
But
no promises.
Yeah.
We'll see. It might take till January when I've had it for my birthday, but we'll see.
Tease for the viewers.
Yeah, right. But let's move on then to the what we're playing section of the show. Yeah. I've been a little busier than I normally am. I'd like to hear what you have been playing first, though, since we missed you.
Yeah, absolutely. Been tooling around with Terrabox and EVBox since the kind of new updates with getting like Hoopa into some of those lists. So that's been kind of cool. It's been fun to like the card. It's a card that like had a short lifespan briefly in the Lost Box lists occasionally when it was specifically for the Arceus counter as well as the hands counter, and then once Arceus kind of fell off, people just gravitated towards Meteor because no need to use Hoopa anymore after that. And because the Roaring Moon variants were becoming kind of weaker in general at that time as well. So it was kind of cool to see Hoopa kind of come back for the last few months of its life cycle. You know?
Love Hoopa.
Just to be like a Kang counter, that's a fun one. It's a cool card. And then the other thing I've been messing around with actually is a Terra Hydreigon list that I ran across.
You got the 7-star raid leak early, dude. What the heck?
I know, right? I've been prepping for it. No, this thing is actually really, really cool. So it's a Terra Box tile list, right? It's the standard like 2 Fanrotom, 4 Owls, a Ditto. And then it uses a 3-1-2 line of the Hydreigon. And 2 Teal Mask Ogrepon, and then it's also slotted the Hoopa in just for, again, that coverage. And the idea behind it's so sick, is you just get to use your Teal Mask, Teal Dance, and then E-switch a grass to a Hydreigon, and suddenly you're punching for 200 and discarding 3 cards off the top of your opponent's deck.
Crazy.
If you get a cracked... This list also runs 2 Hilda in it, right? I want you to imagine the most cracked turn 2, right? Where you got your setup going. You have that Teal Mask in the active. You play an Owl in Evolve, and you go and you grab an Air Balloon and a Hilda, and you've got a rare candy in hand, right?
Yeah.
And you play Hilda, but you don't grab Hydreigon. Instead, you grab another Owl.
Oh my god.
And you go and you get Terra Orb, and you get oh my god, you get the E-switch, right? And you've attached a Dark the previous turn on your first turn to that Hydreigon, right?
Yeah.
Now that Hilda lets you detach Neo Upper Energy, that's the A-spec for the deck. You've attached the Neo Upper Energy for turn. You E-switch that Grass Energy, and you use the Air Balloon and retreat. You have a turn 2 Obsidian.
Gross.
You have a turn 2 Obsidian with this dude. What?
Gross.
Like,
gross.
It's so fun to like pull that off, right?
That's
Obsidian
really
awesome. Obsidian is still really good. By the way,
Shaman's not popular right now. People are way bigger on Psyduck.
Shaman's not super popular. Also, we still run a Team Devo in the list, so that if we Obsidian into a Pult and like 2 Lokes or something like that on the bench, we can take 2 guys out.
Takes 100, so
yeah. Well, you go and you drop the Obsidian's doing like the 130, so like you're dusting those guys, but you've got the 130 on the active Pult as well, right? And then you just Team Evo whenever you feel like it, or Team Devo whenever you feel like it.
That makes sense.
And that guy's gone. That's really good. So yeah, that's what I've been doing for Pokemon. That's a fun list.
Yeah, and it says you got some video games you've been playing too, right?
Yeah. I've been playing Hades 2 some more. Really fun. The game is just clicking, absolutely. The final boss is so tough though in comparison to the first game. But it's such a fun game, and I'm still scratching the surface on it. And then I picked up Battlefield 6 recently. I haven't played
how is that?
Fun first-person shooter in a while, and it scratched the itch. It's so fun. It's so much fun. I've again barely put any hours into it, but it feels good. It feels like it feels honestly like I've gone back to like Battlefield 4, like it feels good. It's the controls are tight. The graphics are great. I by no means have like a crazy strong PC. I'm running on like a 2070 Super, so like it's a good graphics card, but it's not like I'm definitely not on like current gen or even last gen cards. And I can run this thing on like good graphic settings still on like for standard HD, like perfectly fine. The frame rate's fine. It feels so tight and optimized. Like they put in a lot of work to just make the game feel crisp without you having to do a lot on your end to optimize stuff, So and it's just a fun game. It feels like Battlefield. It feels like Battlefield,
That's awesome.
I love it. So
I wish
having so much fun.
I might have to jump into Battlefield 6 because it's on Game Pass, and if it wasn't on Game Pass, I don't think I'd play it. Between like I don't buy a lot of games right now because of my finances, but also like Battlefield 6. I don't know if you heard about it. EA got purchased by a Saudi Arabian company.
They did. They did.
And I don't feel comfortable supporting them financially. Like, that does put money directly into the pockets of people who literally kill journalists.
That's super fair.
But I also don't begrudge anybody for doing it. Do what you want with your money. I think that's like fine. I also like, I'm kind of like kicking myself because I'm like, I really wish I didn't feel this way about it, because that game looks awesome. It looks like a blast, and I played the beta and it was a blast. So maybe I'll pick it up, and just tell myself it's okay because I'm already paying for Game Pass. So we'll see.
It's I definitely get the sentiment. I'm definitely
we
not
don't have to talk about it too much. I don't want to bring the vibe down. It's totally fine to support that game. I'm not going to call for, like, I'm not going to indict anybody for supporting it, because I get wanting to support developers in that company as well. So it's fine. It's fine ultimately. I just I'll have to kind of cope a little bit before I can jump in.
No, that's so fair. I totally get it.
As for what I've been playing, honestly the same as last week. I talked about it a little bit by myself here, but I'll bring it back up with you because it's been about the same story. I've been playing more Zoroark Control, having a lot of fun with Zoroarks, and
it's a fun deck.
I'm actually using the old build pre-Eviltal, so I've got the Sudowoodo and the Cornerstones, because you know what can't hit through Cornerstone? Kangaskhan.
True.
Or Venusaur. Or Meganium.
Okay. Those are like definitely ladder decks though, right? Like there's nobody's out there. Yeah, I was like, it's definitely ladder decks.
You look at the standings for Gdańsk. I mean, Charizard can't hit Cornerstone. Kangaskhan can't hit Cornerstone. Zoroark can't hit Cornerstone. Good. Flareon can. Goldengo cannot. Grimmsnarl cannot. So I mean, I'm just saying. It's. I don't think it's dead yet. But I've also.
They're still decent.
Are walls still meta?
Are walls still meta?
Obviously, still been playing some Halo Master Chief Collection. Halo 5 had its 10th anniversary recently, which is crazy. And I'm also just a huge fan of the Halo franchise. And I've been trying to show up in that community since they had kind of some unsavory marketing happen that it was associated with them that I won't bring up here, but because this isn't a Halo podcast. But I've also been enjoying Borderlands 4. I started a Vex character, so I've been excited to play a different kit. I've been playing Amon since launch, and that guy's kit is boring to me for right now, and like the build that I was using just died. So I've been trying to find something else to do with him, and just like having a farm to max level. And it's like, I just want a break. I want to play something that plays a little different. So I jumped on Vex, and she's a lot of fun so far.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then as far as other Pokemon, I've been playing a really interesting list in Quad Kangaskhan. Now, this is, I think it's the list that you or James sent in our group chat with Zach, where it is 4 Kangaskhan, 4 Bouffalant from Stellar Crown that make your colorless basic Pokemon take 60 less damage, and then a Shaman, and the rest is all trainers. And the idea is to kind of have like a Snorlax stall approach, where you either are able to dismantle your opponent's energy situation with handheld fans, or just penny loop your guys into oblivion so that your opponent can never get a knockout. And it's a really effective strategy. I'm having a lot of fun with it. You get your onboard draw because of Kangaskhan. You don't have to play Fez for that reason, so you get to just have your bench be 2 Kangs and 2 Boofs, and then you're fine. It's a really, really effective list. There's some issues with it. Obviously, it gets bodied by any Meganium Teal Mask deck, and with a half-decent pilot. But it is a lot of fun. You put a Mist Energy on there, so Absol isn't a problem. It's
I ran into one of these on ladder last night, and they also had the super effective goggles.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, and that was the one saving grace for them. I was digging for my outs, and unfortunately just barely missed it.
Dang.
Yeah, if they didn't have the goggles, absolutely would have bodied them with the Hoopa.
Yeah.
But...
Interesting. But yeah, it's a fun deck to play. It's the easiest jumping in point I've had for a control deck in a while. And I love control decks, so I was just like, I'll play this for a couple games. And it's been fun. So
give that a shot.
Really interested in that. I think there's some ways it could be improved, but I think it's still a fun and good deck. Well, like C tier. This is a booze and battle deck, is what it is.
I think I'd crash out if I was playing against this. Except that
I'm never taking any, or you're never taking any shots if you play against it, so you're fine.
That's true. That's true.
What a silly concept. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been playing this week. It's been a good week. Played more Pokemon than I have been in a while. Played more video games than I have been in a while. I've been so busy lately, especially now that I'm taking that editor-producer internship or job or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be even busier, but I'm still going to try to make some time. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anything else you want to talk about before we kind of wrap things up?
No, I think we kind of hit everything. I know I went long on some topics, so I do apologize for that, but like...
No, it's good. This is a long one. We've missed you, so it's nice to have you back. And it's cool to be able to talk about stuff that's really important to this community. So glad we had the discussions we did. Well, yeah, let's go around the horn and say goodbye. Thank you, Johnny, for being here. I appreciate you very much. Any plans for the rest of your evening or for your week?
For the week, nothing too much. I've got some cooking I'm really excited to get to later this week.
So, what are you cooking?
Yeah, we're gonna. Well, it's cold months coming up, so we're gonna do some Japanese curry again. I think
nice.
It's just a absolute favorite kind of dish of mine. To just make. It's so like warm and inviting, and such a good dish for like the winter months. So with it kind of cooling down a bit, even though it's still fall, super excited to have that.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. So yeah, dude, I would kill for some French onion soup. A good French onion and a nice bread to dip it. Oh, yeah, I love a soup.
Yeah. I do. It is soup season.
Yeah, I'm so ready. Excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I hope you have a great week, my friend. After this, well, of course, we're going to record the bonus episode and get that prepped for Thursday.
Yeah.
After this, I'm going to go to sleep. I'll maybe do some organization. I got my Black Bolt ETB this week and actually pulled the Seismitoad, which is really sick. Oh, and while I was there, I also got this. Dude, Ultra Pro makes a little Iono deck box for I got it for $3.
Really?
Yeah,
that's so sick.
Very cool. So I need to organize my collection a little bit. Go to bed. We got a lot of chores done this weekend, so less dishes to do, thankfully. But I'm just kind of gonna go to sleep, and then this week, what am I doing? I don't know if I'm doing a whole lot of anything crazy. I've got a friend's birthday party Friday. And I've got it's election day Tuesday. I'm not voting because I'm not informed, so I'm not going to do that. And then on the 8th, of course, is that interview with LDF over on Patreon. But yeah, thank you folks at home as well for being here yourself. I appreciate you showing up just as much as I do Johnny. Maybe not just as much. I think I get to talk with Johnny more, which, whatever. You guys pay us, but Johnny is part of why the show exists. So thank you both, though, you and the viewers, for being here. Once again, if you want to help out the show a lot and get access to some cool content, like the bonus episode we're recording here in a minute with that interview with Jake and his first pre-release, head on over to patreon.com/terminalcreative. $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month are all great options to support the show. Or if you want to support for free, like and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, rate us on Spotify, share us with your friends manually, whatever you do. We appreciate it. And it's a big deal. In fact, some new support we recently got. We got our very first producer tier patron. So a big special thank you to, let me get his, this is a friend of mine who I'll keep anonymous. But but it goes by the username Yup It's Me. Thank you to Yup It's Me for being our very first producer on Patreon. And thank you to the audience at home. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Peace out.